before. I don't know.
All right, shut my door.
Every time I've used it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I didn't realize my audio was turned off. I couldn't figure out what I was doing.
Well, I don't know how long my audio's been on. I was sitting there talking to my son.
I just turned mine on. So let me get it to where you can see my screen.
Were you able to go to that? Oh, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I got it. But I also, let me go. Okay, go off. Hang on just a sec. There it is. Is that it? Nope. Hang on just one more sec. Okay. So I also put it together in kind of a PowerPoint right there. Can you see that?
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Okay.
I have it. I downloaded his images and put it in a PowerPoint. That way I could like flashcard myself.
Yeah.
And I was going through them and I don't know. I'm just still really confused about them.
Okay. So do you want me to just go ahead and start in with this and kind of explain to you what you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll start with the esophagus because that's the first, like going down through that GI tube or down that gastrointestinal tube. Your esophagus is the first one you'll have to come to. Your esophagus, what you're going to be looking at is the esophagus has stratified squamous epithelium. Okay, so you'll see, let me see if I can get my coloring. Here we go. So do you see right here where my pen is at? See that blue line I'm marking right there? If you'll see all up there, that is your simple squamous epithelium. I mean, not simple, stratified squamous epithelium. Okay, we're going to look at another one. Here, this one is zoomed in a little bit more. Well, as soon as I can get it to give me back there. See, this one is zoomed in a bit more, and you can see a lot more of that stratified squamous epithelium.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing you're looking for in the esophagus. Okay. And the reason you have tons of stratified squamous epithelium is because this is an area that's going to have a lot of friction with all that food scraping down that esophagus as it, slides down that tube.
Yeah.
Does that make sense there?
Yeah.
Okay. And then here's another one, and you'll see the same thing. I was trying to see if I can make it bigger, but so at the top here, you're seeing a bunch of stratified squamous epithelium. And again, that's the only thing you're looking for here.
Okay.
Okay. You good with that one?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's go on to
tell me about it.
and we'll go back. In a minute, we'll go back over some more slides that you sent me, that he sent to y'all, and we can go through them and kind of quiz together here on our little tutoring call, but we'll keep going and then we'll go back and review them.
Okay.
Okay, so the stomach is simple columnar epithelium, and you're going to be able to, or you need to be able to identify the gastric pits and the gastric glands on this. So here's the stomach, and this is zoomed way, way out, but I'm going to go to another slide that zooms it in a little bit more. So you see this slide zooms it in a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And let me get my pencil here. Okay, so you see right here, I'm going to be drawing. You see right where you're having those little pits.
Mm-hmm.
You see where I'm drawing them with the blue? That,
Mm-hmm.
each one of those is a gastric pit. Okay, and then you're going to have down here, you'll see these little gastric glands down here. Okay, so those are the two things you're looking for when you're looking at the stomach. You're looking for those gastric pits that you can see there in the blue, and then the gastric glands, which are further down, and I've circled those in red. Okay.
Okay. On our little review sheet, it says we'll also have to identify mucosal epithelium for the stomach.
Okay. So I will let me go to another slide where it's zoomed in even more. And okay, so right here, this tissue right here is simple columnar. This is a gastric pit, that B part right there, that little arrow, B arrow. And this is stomach, organ and gland, this is stomach. So A would be simple columnar, B would be gastric pits, and C would be stomach. Y'all had to know what the mucosa, you said?
Yeah, it's right beside on our review sheet. It says stomach and it says mucosal epithelium and
Okay,
gastric glands.
where it's pointing at the tissue there, you can also call that mucosal epithelium. And the
Okay.
only reason it's called a mucosal epithelium is because it's an epithelium that produces a lot of mucus. So that those simple columnar cells right in here produce a lot of mucus. So they're simple columnar, but you can also say that they're a mucosal epithelium.
Okay.
Okay. Good there? Okay. So now we're going to go down to the small intestine. But remember, the small intestine has 3 different divisions to it. So on this slide, you'll see all 3 divisions. You have the duodenum in the beginning, and then you have jejunum in the middle, and then you end with the ileum. Okay. So the duodenum here, what you'll see is the very tips of these, you'll see they're kind of broken off, almost like in the fall time when you step on brown dried leaves and they flake off some bits and pieces. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see up here at the top, let me get my pen again. You'll see that you have this little piece that is flaked off, and usually there's a few more pieces up here that have flaked off. You can see another one flaking off there. So that's real indicative of duodenum.
Okay.
Okay, so let me get my eraser and erase that before we go on. Okay, so, okay, here is another comparison of them. So you can see at the top is your duodenum, and see how you can see those little dried leaf bits that are flaking off. And the tips of these plica circularis, which are those large finger extensions, the tips of them on your duodenum a lot of times are a little bit pointier than your jejunum and ileum.
Okay.
Okay. So here are some pictures of duodenum, and you can see, hang on, I'm trying to get my pen back. You can see that you have some of these that are flaked off. Here's another piece that's flaked off. This whole entire piece is flaked off, and then you see bits and pieces up here. Okay, that's what I was talking about, how you have almost like the dried leaf pieces that are flaking off.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the duodenum, and now we're going to go to another one because it's a little bit more magnified here. So each one of these large fingers here are a plica circularis. Okay. And what you'll see on the plica circularis of the duodenum as well is you have these goblet cells, or these mucus cells. And you can see they're very, very distinct. You see those that I just circled in red?
Yeah, I can see them.
So again, you'll need to know that those big fingers are your plica circularis. And then if we go to the next one, oh, sorry, I keep forgetting to erase off of my pen there. Okay, A is pointing at the teeny tiny little fingers called villi. Right here, do you see that A arrow?
Yes.
The B arrow is pointing to the plica circularis. And the C arrow is the mucosal epithelium, or you can say simple columnar epithelium with mucus cells. Okay.
Okay.
D, the specific organ would be the duodenum. And E, the general organ would be the small intestines.
Okay.
Does that make sense there?
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's go down to the jejunum. So the jejunum is that second segment of small intestines. And here it is also made of simple columnar. And you need to be able to identify the plica circularis and the villi as well. So here you're seeing the large plica circularis fingers, and you'll see that it's simple columnar, but it's much neater looking than the duodenum was. Can you see that? How
Yeah.
those nuclei are much more in a row, and they're not as broken up with mucus cells as the duodenum was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And here's another picture as well. It's very nondescript. It's but the outline of each of the plicas are very neat. Okay, they're very, you can see the edge real crisp and clear. So that's your jejunum.
Alrighty.
There's not much to know on the jejunum. Okay, the next one is the ileum. This is the last portion of the small intestines. And again, this is made up of simple columnar epithelium, as well as your plica circularises and your villi. So we have this first one here. This is a really, really light one. But you're seeing the plica circularis is up here at the top. And then, let me get my little pen here. And then at the bottom of the ileum, you see these lymph nodules down here. These lymph nodules at the bottom down here are called your Peyer's patches. Okay, if you see these Peyer's patches, this row of balls down here, you know that this tissue is the ileum. You will always see Peyer's patches in the ileum.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's go to the next one. Oh, wait, forgot I had to mark off my. Okay, so this one is showing the ileum as well. And you can see down here at the bottom, you see all those little circles of Peyer's patches.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is very, very distinct for being the ileum, because the ileum is the only one where you're going to see those Peyer's patches at the bottom.
Okay.
Okay, this one right here is showing the Peyer's patches blown up. So here you're seeing a Peyer's patch, and here you're seeing a Peyer's patch. Here you would see another one. And again, those are just the lymph nodules that are in that portion of the small intestines.
Okay.
You do have to be able to identify those Peyer's patches though. Okay, the next one. This again is showing another picture of the ileum, and you know that because that structure at A right there is your Peyer's patches. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
B, your specific organ would be the ileum, and C, your general organ would be small intestine. Okay.
Okay.
Good on that one?
Yep.
Okay. So then we go to the large intestines, and the large intestines again are made up of simple columnar epithelium, and you have to be able to identify the mucus cells. So this is what the large intestines are going to look like. I'm going to go to the next one only because we need to really look at what makes these so distinct from every other thing. You see how you just have tons of mucus cells on here. See, it's predominated by all these mucus cells.
Yeah, I kind of seen that, and I thought it kind of looked like the hostra that was on the large intestine.
It does kind of look like the little hostra bubbles of the large intestines. So that's what you're looking for when you're looking at the large intestines. Because it's trying to move that waste product, a solid waste, which will eventually be the poop, but it's trying to move that through the large intestines, and it's constantly taking out excess water out of it to make it more and more solid. You have to have a lot of mucus cells to allow that solid waste to slide on through the large intestines.
Okay.
So that's the reason you're seeing so many mucus cells there. Okay. Let me go down to the next picture. Okay, can you see that one of the large intestines?
Yes.
Okay, so arrow A would be a mucus cell or a goblet cell, because remember your goblet cells produce mucus. B, that tissue would be your mucosal epithelium, because it's producing mucus. And C would be large intestine.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then going down to the liver. In the liver, what you're going to be looking for are the liver lobules. Let me see. Oh, I don't have. Hang on just a sec. I'm going to grab another image of the liver. Okay. Do you see this one? Hang on just a sec. It disappeared. Okay, do you see it right now on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what you're looking at when you're looking at the liver. You see those pentagon or hexagon shapes. Each of those pentagon or hexagon shapes, and each of those pentagons are going to be a liver lobule. Okay, so you'll see it just looks like a bunch of geometric shapes squashed in together there. So that's very much characteristic, excuse me, of the liver histology. And now we'll go back to that, that PowerPoint. So this is the middle of that liver lobule, that pentagon area, and we've zoomed all the way in on that pentagon, okay? So you have a few things you have to be able to label here. You have this huge center hole right in the middle of that pentagon or that liver lobule. That center hole is going to be your central vein. Okay.
Okay.
And then let's go and we're going to now trace these sinusoids. These sinusoids are like little open canals. They're little spaces. You see those that I'm tracing in the blue? Those little canals are called sinusoids. Okay. I've traced them in blue. Now, in the liver, each one of these liver cells is called a hepatocyte. So each liver cell is called a hepatocyte. So every time you see a nucleus, that's another hepatocyte. Okay.
All right.
So those were traced in yellow. So again, in the liver, you need to know the liver lobule, that's each of those pentagon shapes. And if you zoom in on the liver lobule, you can see this middle hole right there. That's your central vein. Then you have those little space canals called sinusoids. And then each one of the cells, so each one of those little nuclei there is a hepatocyte. And hepata means liver and cyte means cell. So hepatocyte literally means a liver cell.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, let me erase all my markings here and we'll go to the next one. So here you're seeing the one that's all marked up. So the entire structure there that you're seeing, A, is going to be a liver lobule.
Okay.
The B arrow is going to be the sinusoid. C is going to be a hepatocyte. D is going to be the central vein. And E is going to be liver.
Okay.
Okay, good there?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to go to the pancreas. And remember, in the pancreas, you have to identify the pancreatic islets and the pancreatic acini or acini. Okay, so here's the pancreas zoomed way out. We don't normally zoom it this far out, but I put it in there because it was one of the pictures that Professor Johnson had. So I'm going to go to the next one because this is where you can see it. Okay, I'm going to put a circle around the pancreatic islet. Remember your pancreatic islet from the previous, I think it was 2 units ago we did the pancreas. and we talked about that wad of lightly colored cells is called your pancreatic islets. So that yellow right there that I just circled, that's a collection of pancreatic islets right there, okay? And
Okay.
now the pancreatic acini or acini, they're gonna be dark with light on the inside. So you see how it has a dark rim around the edge and then a light interior?
Mm-hmm.
Each one of those is a pancreatic acini, okay?
Okay.
So I'm gonna erase it and we'll go to the next one, which will have the questions. Okay, so these A cells here, that A arrow, those are gonna be your pancreatic acini or acini cells. B is gonna be your pancreatic islets. And then C is gonna be the pancreas,
Okay.
okay? Now let's go to the salivary glands. In the salivary glands are gonna be three things you need to be able to identify. And these three things are what are going to clue you in that these are salivary glands. You're gonna have mucus cells, serous cells, and ducts. If you remember from A&P 1, ducts are normally going to be cuboidal epithelium.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this one is zoomed way, way out. I would not think they would ask you it from this one because it's so hard to tell what you're looking at. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the next one that's zoomed in a little bit more. And then I'm gonna take that one and I'm gonna zoom it in even more because I'm gonna show you the three things you have to look for. And I can't show you on the one that's zoomed out, it's too far. Okay, see this structure right here? See all those structures? You're looking at stratified cuboidal epithelium. Remember, your stratified cuboidal is like looking through the end of a water hose. It's always kind of round or oval shape.
Mm-hmm.
So those are your ducts that you're looking at there, okay? And then, let me get to, oh, hang on, let me erase that one and go back to the other one. Maybe it was this one. Let's see. Okay, on this one you can, it's a little bit hard to see. I might get another picture and put it up here. So right here, you'll see these little empty looking cells that I'm tracing in blue.
Mm-hmm.
Those are mucus cells. So they're just empty looking cells. They almost look like adipocytes because they're so empty. But those are all mucus cells.
Okay.
Okay. And again, here you're seeing the ducts. You see them in green. I'm putting a little green around them. Those are your ducts, which are your simple cuboidal. And then these all these dark cells, these dark purple cells, these are your serous cells. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the end of what I have on this. Let me
Do
go.
you have some of the lung and trachea?
The lung and the trachea.
I know there wasn't any in the ones that I sent you.
Okay. I have some. Let me pull them up on the computer real quick.
I just have a hard time like mainly like with the lung, like the alveolar duct
Okay.
and the bronchial or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Let me get one, a really good one here. Trying to get one that shows a bronchial. Hang on just a sec. Here we go. Okay. Okay, it's loading. Hang on just a sec.
Okay.
Hang on, let me go and find it. I didn't realize it was going to be an entire PowerPoint. Okay. So this is a lung right here that you're seeing. You
Mhm.
see this very, very large, this large canal right here.
Mhm.
That is showing a bronchiole. Okay. So a bronchiole is going to be a very large canal-looking area when you're looking at the lung under histology. And then, let me get a different pen color here. And then coming off of that, you'll see this passageway that is smaller, that's going to go to these different alveolar sacs. These are going to be, you can see them in green here. These are going to be your alveolar ducts.
Okay.
Okay. So they're just going to lead off of that bronchiole and into the actual alveolar sacs. Okay.
Okay.
And then your alveolar sac is just going to be that whole collection. Oh, that's kind of a light yellow, sorry. So each one of these is a whole collection of alveoli. So each one of those are going to be an alveolar sac in
Okay.
yellow. Okay. Does that make sense there?
Yeah. I just had a hard time determining which was the bronchial and which was the alveolar
The
duct.
bronchioles are going to be extremely large.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find you another one. Oh, here's one. Do you see this one right here? See
Mhm.
where my little finger is pointing? Okay,
Yeah.
this area right here is a bronchiole. So that's what you're seeing right here. And
Okay.
then, let me grab my pen here. Okay, and then when you're going here, these are going to be your alveolar ducts.
Okay.
Okay, so so that your alveolar ducts are going to go in like that.
Alrighty.
Those are alveolar ducts. Okay, let me get my eraser, because if I don't erase it, it goes on to the next screen. Let me see if I can find another one here. It's really good. Okay, here's another one. So in this one, you're seeing right here
Mhm.
is a bronchiole. And then from the bronchiole, you're seeing the alveolar ducts go down like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
See how much bigger that bronchiole is than that alveolar duct?
Yeah.
And then each collection of these areas here are your alveolar sacs. Around like that.
Alrighty.
Okay. So now look at some tracheas.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that's it. Because I think the olfactory epithelium on the list or whatever, it's always thicker, right?
Yes, always thicker. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so the trachea, I'm going to pull one up here. See it over on the right-hand side right there?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can get it to blow up. Oh, well, it didn't want to blow up. Okay, so this is a trachea here. What you're looking for is at the very top of that trachea is pseudostratified epithelium that have a lot of cilia.
Okay.
And you'll see it's a very thin layer of pseudostratified epithelium. It's not thick. And that's really the only thing you're looking for there.
Yeah, is that the only one that we have that has a pseudostratified columnar epithelium?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay.
So here's one. Whoop. I don't know what I just did. I was trying to go to this one. Hang on just a sec. Oh. This one right here is zoomed way in, and you can see this is a trachea as well. And you're seeing those pseudostratified columnar epithelium.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing tons of cilia on top. And then every once in a while you have a goblet cell.
Okay. Alrighty.
Okay.
That was easier than I thought.
Yeah, no, it's not hard. It's not bad.
I was going through them and like I was trying to label myself and I was afraid that I was going to label them wrong.
Mhm.
And that's why I ended up messaging you because I think he said that those images that I sent you are the ones that he's going to use on the digital practical. I'm not
Yeah.
real sure though.
I would, the ones he sent where he had the A, B, C, what is this, those were very clear. And those are usually what the slides kind of look like on our practicals. So I would assume those are the ones he's going to use as well.
And he also said half of our practical was going to be over the histology. And I was like, ugh, why can't they just delete that?
Well, what I'll do is I'll work on getting y'all practice, another practice quiz just for the histology on this practical, and I can send it out to y'all. I can try to get that done today.
Okay, that would be awesome. Because I like quizzing myself because then I know what I need to study.
Sure, yeah. And you know what you don't know when you can quiz yourself and go, oh, wait, maybe I
Yeah,
did
'cause
this one as
sometimes,
well.
yeah, sometimes I'll have the images memorized and I'll be like, okay, well, I know this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to try to not do that and try to point out things in the image that way I know what it is.
Right. Yeah. But I can do that for y'all.
You're awesome. But I've told you that a million times.
I try. Okay, what else?
That's really all I had that I really needed to go over. I guess that's it.
Okay. Well, just message me back if you need any more help.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great one.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.